A young mother stepped into the house for just a few seconds to grab her phone, leaving the stroller with her baby on the porch. When she returned, her heart sank. The stroller was empty. The baby was gone. Mark. Her voice broke into a scream, but there was only silence in response. Her pulse pounded in her ears. She ran to the gate, rushed out onto the street, scanning the sidewalk, the road, the neighbors' yards. No one. Could someone have just walked up, grabbed the baby, and disappeared while she was inside for mere seconds? She ran to the neighbors. Did you see anyone near my house? The stroller. My baby. Her voice trembled, but everyone just shook their heads. No one had noticed anything. With shaking fingers, she dialed 911. My son is missing. He's been taken. Within minutes, police officers swarmed the yard. Questions, interviews. Where had she been? How long had she been gone? Had she seen anyone nearby? Cameras. They needed to check the cameras. She suddenly remembered that a neighbor had security cameras installed and rushed to his house. The owner immediately granted access to the police. Black and white footage. A quiet street. There she was stepping into the house, the door closing behind her. And then, a shadow. A figure appeared near the stroller. Something large, dark. A quick movement and the baby was gone. Who is that? She stared at the screen in horror. The image was blurry, but within seconds, it became clear. It was a dog, a black Labrador. It had carefully grabbed the blanket wrapped around the baby and quickly ran away. Shock. It's not a person. A police officer beside her frowned. Whose dog is this? The woman frantically searched her memory for familiar neighborhood dogs. No, it wasn't any of theirs. Then she remembered. She had seen this dog near her house before, several times, and then her phone vibrated in her hand. An unknown number. Hello? You need to see this. She froze, a trembling voice. She recognized it immediately. Moksh, just come please. It was her ex-husband. She drove to his house in a daze, unable to comprehend what was happening. The police followed closely behind. When she burst inside, her breath caught in her throat. Her baby, sleeping peacefully in a chair, still wrapped in the same blanket. And next to him, the black Labrador, lying down with its head resting on its paws, wagging its tail slowly. She turned to her ex-husband. His face was wet with tears. He lifted his eyes to hers, filled with confusion. I'm sorry. It was Jessie. I can't believe she did this. He knelt beside the dog, running a hand over her head. She saw how I looked at Mark's pictures every day, how much I missed him, how I couldn't find peace. I never imagined she would understand it this way. The mother stood there, breathing heavily. She wanted to scream, to lash out at him, to accuse him of the fear, the pain, the horror she had just been through. But then her gaze fell on the dog. Large, dark eyes stared back at her, not with fear, not with aggression, only loyalty. This dog hadn't meant harm. She had only wanted to make her owner happy. A storm of emotions raged inside her, but slowly, they settled into exhaustion. She took a deep breath, stepped forward, gently lifted her baby into her arms. She saw Max clench his fists, as if bracing himself for her to leave without a word. She looked at him, and for the first time in a long time, she quietly asked, "Do you want to hold him?" Max's eyes widened in shock. You're serious?" She nodded. He carefully took the baby from her. His hands trembled. He held the child as if he were the most precious thing in the world. Tears streamed down his face. Silence. But this time, it wasn't the dreadful silence of loss. It was the silence of reconciliation.